We're live on DSTV, channel 421, Go TV 144. I'm Ernest Mino, and this is Joy News Prime. Welcome. In this bulletin, ex-gratia controversy, Togbe Afede, the 16th, hits back at critics who say he only attended 16% of meetings of the Council of State, hence does not deserve the 365,000 cedi ex-gratia.
It's surprised that he of all people, when I say he of all people, he will be surprised. He will know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by their, focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do.
We'll bring you that exclusive interview. Also, Ghana Civil Aviation Authority challenges claims it owes the Meteorological Agency, together with the airport company, 80 million Ghana cedis. The Civil Aviation Authority and the Ghana Airport Company Limited have been speaking.
There was a lot, to the tune of over 80 million Ghana cedis since the act was passed.
I was surprised that he's mentioning figures of 60 million, 80 million, and I've never seen that figure.
Also in this package, Roads Minister Kwesi Amoakwata could face the Parliament Assurance Committee after failing to get a contractor working on a road in the Sola Tuna Kaba constituency to return to work despite his assurances to the House.
The president is not reshuffling. And so they come to the floor of Parliament and make promises anyhow. I think it is time for the Government Assurances Committee to work. Thankfully, I serve on that committee. I will push to ensure that the minister delivers.
Hello again, thanks for choosing us. The Civil Aviation Authority is challenging claims it owes, together with the Ghana Airport Company, an amount of 80 million Ghana cedis to the Ghana Meteorological Agency. According to the Director General of the Ghana Meteorological Agency, the amended act of the agency enjoins the two organizations to pay a percentage of every fee they charge in the operations to GMet. However, in an interview with Joy News, Eric Esuming says the two companies have refused to make the payment since 2019.
It was a lot, to the tune of over 80 million Ghana cedis.
Over 18 million. 18 million Ghana cedis.
Yes, since the act was passed.
2019 to 2022. June.
Yes. In fact, as at June 2021, I had a data, and as at that time, they owe us about 60 million per the data that I had. We are supposed to do a reconciliation with them, and written to them, they've not been cooperating that much. In fact, when we cry and cry and cry, they will throw something at us. Take this. But that's not what we are looking for. It's a law that must be complied with. What does the law say? So if you even give me a certain amount, what percentage of that to the how much you have collected? What is that? And so we've had some series of meetings with the airport company and civil aviation. And with the airport company, we started a reconciliation with them. We've not gotten far. We met only once. We're supposed to get us the data as challenging the one that we think we have. Because the argument is that, well, billing is different from, it's different from what they have received. So they can expect this much, but actuals may be different from the projected. And so I said, fine, whatever it is, you have the data, let's sit down and let's do the reconciliation so that we know exactly how much you owe us. And then how are you going to, when are you going to pay the money? Start paying. And they have so many excuses that they give. But I think Ghanaians were aware of your challenges. And in spite of that, they give us the law. We also have our challenges. So you can't use your challenges to deny us what Ghanaians has given to us.
So why is it difficult for them to do that? What have they been telling you?
The airport company will tell you that they took loan to build Terminal 3 and developing airports, and this loan has been guaranteed by the government, and they are using those receipts to service the loan. And so they give it to us to affect them servicing the loan. That's the airport company argument. But seriously speaking, civil aviation, I don't get the argument. The argument is that they are challenged, they don't have enough money, and there are difficulty. We all have difficulties.
But the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Charles Krakui, has disputed the quantum of debt as demanded by the Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Yeah, it's true that in 2019 there was amendment to the GMet Act. In the Act, Ghana Civil Aviation is to give them a portion of our aeronautical revenues. So what we did was that we had a meeting with GMet, including the DG himself, and had a meeting personally with him, and we all agree that we're going to do a reconciliation of the figures. So the two teams, our finance team and their finance team, have been meeting, and they are yet to come out with figures. So I was surprised that he's mentioning figures of 60 million, 80 million, and I've never seen that figure. So until they conclude on that reconciliation meeting, we have no figure. And from there we can come out with a payment plan on how to go forward with payment. So that is where we are. Okay. And we are still talking, I'm still talking with the DG. Before we come out with a payment plan and we finish the reconciliation, we've been giving them some payments. And the last payment that we gave them was 400,000 Ghana cedi. That was in March. And he can confirm as well that we've given them some payment. And apart from that, we've been supporting them in their maintenance activities. We are buying new equipment for them.
Well, Eric Esuman of the Ghana Meteorological Agency joins us via Zoom with more on this following that challenge by the Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Joy News Prime. So the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority says there hasn't been a conclusion on exactly how much they owe GMet. So how did you arrive of this total amount of 80 million Ghana cedis?
Thank you very much, brother. If you look at my interview, the earlier interview, I indicated that per the information I have, the data that I have, as at June 2021, they were owing us about 60 million, both companies. And up to December, we estimate that it was about 80 million. That's as to December 2021. We are in June 2022. And so this figure, for me, is even a conservative figure. Well, I also indicated that they have the data. The raw data, source document or source data is with them. Per my estimation, you owe me conservatively over 80 million. They should come out with how much, but they have collected the money. They have all the data, they have the figures. How much do they owe us? I throw that challenge that day, that they should come and dispute my figure and give us the right figure that they think it was. Thankfully, he did not dispute the fact that the law has been amended and that they are supposed to give some of their collections, specifically landing 10% landing charge to Ghana Meteorological Agency, 10% of overflights charge to Ghana Meteorological Agency, and then 5% airport tax from airport company to Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Well, Mr. Suman, that is not what is in dispute. For them, even the conservative figure of 80 million for the two companies is what they're challenging. They're wondering how you came to that conclusion because they say, first of all, they have not sat down together with you to agree on what exactly they owe you or how much they owe you. So this conservative figure is what they are challenging. And I mean, if you do not have, if you say the records is with them, how did you come by this conclusion?
Well, as I said, as at June 2021, I had a data. I have the data and I've written with that data to them, to our ministry, attached copious copies and details of those analysis that we have done from our points to them, to our ministry, to show them their indebtedness to us. And that's the information I have.
Well, Mr. Okweku also in that interview says they have made some payments to you, some 400,000 he mentioned there, as well as supporting your training. How do you respond to that? And all of that should go into the calculation if some monies are to be advanced to you at all.
Yes, I admit somewhere in March, they gave us 400,000. If you remember in my interview, I indicated that we cry, they throw something at us. My concern is, what is that? What percentage of that are you giving me? You are supposed to give me specific percentages of your collection. So if you are paying me, I'm expecting that I've collected this much, and this is your 10%, this is your 5%, and this is your 10%. Not just to give me 400,000. Is this 1% of the money you are supposed to give me? Is it 100% of the money you are supposed to give me? That is not good enough. Yes, with a lot of effort, they give us that money. And we are in June. We spoke about March. From January to date, that's only receipts that we have received from.
Have you officially written to the ministries in charge to make sure that this issue is settled well and properly?
In fact, we've written to our minister. He's working on it. Written to GRA when it comes to collection of taxes. GRA is in charge. We wrote to GRA. Actually, we wrote to the ministry, and our ministry put a covering letter on it to GRA and Ministry of Finance. And I indicated in my earlier interview that Ministry of Finance is doing something about it. My indication is that they will call us together to resolve this matter. But be that is me, they still owe us the 400 Ghana cedis supervision gave us, not constitute the 10%, and the 5% that the law has given to Ghana.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Suman. We would have to leave it here because of time, and we are grateful that you're able to join us with your thoughts on this issue. We'll be following up because you say the Finance Ministry is working on this. Two other stories now. The national chairman of the opposition NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, has refuted claims that the leadership of the party is deliberately frustrating the rollout of the controversial Ahotor project. The Ahotor project is an initiative led by the former finance minister and flag bearer hopeful, Dr. Kwabena Donko, aimed at revitalizing and supporting the party's grassroots to capture political power come 2024. There were reports at the launch of the project that the launch of the project was called off due to some parochial interests at the national leadership level. But speaking to Joy News, Mr. Ampofo said the neck of the party is only interested in ensuring that the proper process is followed.
It's not part of the party structural reorganization. The party reorganization is not part of that. The party reorganization is about our branches, our constituencies, our regional and others, which is on course. As I speak to you now, I've just returned from the Eastern region, where I met all the constituencies in the Eastern regions, including the regional executives, to kickstart the reorganization of the party in the Eastern region. On Saturday, we are going to Ashanti region to continue that of Ashanti region. Ahotor project is not part of the restructuring of the party. There is no problem with Ahotor project. Dr. Kwabena Donko has engaged the party about support that he wants to give. We have had a series of meetings with him, and there is no controversy. Ofosu-Ampofo is not a stumbling block in the way of anybody. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to do things according to the structures of the party. And so the party leadership has met. We have had a series of meetings. We are almost at the tail end of it. There were a little misunderstanding about the final output of that project. And we thought that we should sit and put finality to it before it is finally outdone.
Is that why the launch was cancelled?
The launch was not cancelled because at a point in time they raised some issues about the final document and some other things that they wanted us to do. And they said, let's come to the very forum at which the agreement was hatched and let us cross the T's and dot the I so that we can do a smooth launching without any let or hindrance.
So the project, you can assure, will see the light of day. It will be rolled out.
Nobody is against the project, and the party has been involved in trying to teleguide it so that it is implemented according to the wishes of the party and according to the party constitution, the party structures, and the party's guidance. And so nobody is putting any impediment, nobody is frustrating it, nobody is stopping anything. We are only want the things to be done and done well.
This is Joy News Prime. Still to come, the ex-gratia controversy. Togbe Afede the 16 hits back at critics who say he only attended 16% of the meetings of the Council of State and hence does not deserve the 365,000 ex-gratia.
It's surprised that he of all people, when I say he of all people, he will be surprised. He will know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do.
We have that exclusive interview for you. Just stay with us. Now, the Roads and Highways Minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, had promised Parliament in 2021 that he will get a contractor working on the major road in the Sola Tunakalba constituency to complete his work. The contractor is reported to have abandoned the site for years, leaving the road linking that part of the country to Tamale and other major cities in a deplorable state. But months on, that promise is yet to be fulfilled. Now, MP for the area, Andrew Dari Chiwete, who raised this on the floor, says if the minister fails to provide satisfactory answers to the committee, Parliament must take a tough stance on him, including a vote of censure.
Then 2021, rains came and the place was terrible. Minister came again and assured me before the House that in 2 weeks he was going to get the contractor back. As I speak with you today, nothing has happened. The contractor has not come back to site and the road has gone completely bad. So as we are in the rainy season now, I'm afraid for the people. Yes.
So what would you be expecting the committee to do about this specific issue?
It is the committee's duty. It's one of the committees, a very respected committee in Parliament. Remember, Honorable Kwabena Donkor resigned. Yes, he made a promise, gave deadlines, and so when the deadline came and then he couldn't fulfill his promise, as a responsible minister, highly respected person, a person that respects the position he was occupying, he resigned voluntarily. But you see, the caliber of ministers we have under President Akufo-Addo, they are not performing. The president is not reshuffling. And so they come to the floor of Parliament and make promises anyhow. They don't follow up. And so for me, I think it is time for the Government Assurances Committee to work. Thankfully, I serve on that committee. I will push to ensure that the minister delivers. Not only the roads minister, we have the energy minister, we have the sanitation water resource minister. All of them, they come to the floor and make promises. These are key areas. Education minister. So I am encouraging colleague members of Parliament. Once I serve on that committee and I know what the committee looks out for, members should endeavor to bring out ministers that have made promises that have not fulfilled, so that we would set them up and let them know that they cannot come before the August House and make promises and fail to deliver them.
Now, a commercial driver who tried to prevent an attack on a young man at Sokari Mampo in Kumasi has been stabbed to death. 22-year-old Dennis Owusu was stabbed several times at the back, buttocks, and had his head hit by a brick by the group of young men who were chasing a colleague in the area. Uncle of the deceased, Kobna Mwako, says his nephew was killed when he tried to prevent the boys from attacking the young man. Mona Lisa Frimpong has been interacting with the family of the deceased and now reports.
An eyewitness, Bismarck Odro, who operates a drinking spot in the area, told Love News the target of the attack, known only as Nat, had a confrontation on Sunday with a group of boys off the Kenyasi Road. The group of young men ambushed him on Monday in an attempt to deal with him. He said Nat ran into the deceased, who had returned from work asking for help. In an attempt to reason with them, they stabbed him multiple times.
Sunday, no, around 2:30 to 3 more. Me yes, what was correct, me na. Timothy, anyone, boys, no, see the minimum. Into the mobile, I'm saying, brown friends, a black with your names, yes. And I'm saying, another number 9 or so, you're quite a and in a boy be Jimmy or Honoma, with the war, I should need to. I would not tell a crack a black with you.
One of the perpetrators told me he had beaten a guy.
school for classmate. Ti ba sa no mo trezi ba ascom man pass on very not na dey. Enso dey akuni bi.
Sister of the deceased, Francesca Owusu-Ampong, gave a chilling account of how they killed his brother.
The Etienne say, Obidi, Brooks are shiny trim. I'm more the sick how one or the Mujashias for it, Nancy, Obisu Dimlicabe, Dene, the now Bono, Ama.
We heard he was stabbed multiple times. My brother was innocent.
Moderator to at Waye, Obi a 1 penny once. They signed it in Mitifans. I am a yapan. A biane crash, Bia, says some ideas here. On no moon didn't run on your palace, some ideas here. Me understand my watch the archer say. Domoyan, on chum, so come crowd of moon. And ye fed up.
Uncle of the deceased, Kwabna Mwakon, says Owusu was rushed to the Menchia Government Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival.
Boys be by say, a contaqua. No, was Munja and Toquadia for Subi and so. Timothy and Uncle Anna catch them say more fast, medicinal, Uncle for Abona Ekun. Oh.
I saw a group of boys who had gathered saying they were still waiting to beat my nephew.
Mother of the deceased, Yabwatma, wants police to arrest the perpetrators.
My son was innocent. I want justice to be served.
Police say no arrest has been made so far, but they are investigating. Awuku Malik's report read to you.
The paramount chief and the Adbubumefia of the Asogli state, Togbe Afede, the 16th, has hit back at critics who say he only attended 16% of meetings of the Council of State, hence does not deserve the 365,000 cedis ex-gratia he returned to the state. In an exclusive interview with Jaw News, the revered chief said, on the contrary, he's been very active at the Council of State. Togbe Afede further noted that the number of people nominated by the president to be on the Council of State leaves much to be desired. He says it makes it difficult for the body to be independent. The former Council of State member was applauded on social media for returning his ex-gratia, which he described as inappropriate. But what many see as a patriotic gesture has equally generated some criticism. So what does he make of the backlash? Well, he spoke to us.
You know, I was filing my tax returns towards the end of last year, and I received tax receipts from the GRA that showed that some reductions were effected from monies paid to me in July that I wasn't aware of. So I decided, wow, let me find out. You know, of course, I was having my own financial difficulties at the time for responsibility. So I thought, wow, this is great news. I've got some money in. But I decided to find out where the money was coming from. You know, so I first went to my bankers to confirm the money was there. But it was described generally as salary ex-gratia, and I didn't know what that meant. I decided to probe and understand where it was coming from. So I found that a chunk of that money was in respect of ex-gratia, okay, that was due me, and that was 365,000 Ghana cedis plus. Of course, my joy turned to sadness because I knew there was no way I wanted to spend that kind of money. I was very surprised about the sheer quantum of money that I was going to be paid. And I thought that for 4 years' work, that in all honesty was part-time work. You know, I did not think that it merited this amount of extra reward after I've enjoyed monthly, you know, salaries. Of course, the other privileges, whether I enjoyed them or not, is neither here nor there, but they were supposed to be there. You know, some free medical care for those who wanted it, and which I didn't enjoy. You know, but I thought the salaries were more than enough. So I decided right and then, and there was no way I could spend that money. That money must go back to government, you see. there may be good reason to pay ex-gratia, awards or end of service awards to certain categories of government workers, public workers. For example, parliamentarians may have to leave whatever they were doing to serve the nation for a period. Okay? So if they will no more return to parliament, there may be the need to give some end of service benefits. How much should be given is subject to, a bit of analysis, okay, that will respect also the situation in our country and the plight of the average Ghanaian. Some people must not be made to look like a different class of people. But coming to my particular case, the Council of State's work is part-time work by mostly retired citizens. Is what I'm saying, Council of State work should not take you away from what you already have been doing, okay? And therefore, it's not a case that you need to be compensated at the end of it all when you are like being thrown out of job. You see, so I do not think that the work that I did merited it. But let me assure you, I was one of the most active participants in the Council of State, and I was chairman of the Economy and Special Development Initiatives Committee, which never met without me. Okay. So I was one of the most active participants in our general meetings, and I led the team on the Economy and Special Development Initiatives. But nonetheless, I cannot deny the fact that it was part-time work, it wasn't full-time work, and I think that after 4 years, I deserved a colossal 365,000 Ghana cedis. That's a big man. That's a big amount of money.
You talk about how active you were in the Council of State. Are you surprised in the midst of all the applause, the lone voice criticizing you, saying that you only participated in 16% of the meetings? Are you surprised?
Well, I was shocked that I was very shocked that Mr. Padomochi, of all people, who knew me very, very well, was a frequent visitor to my office many years ago, knew how I work, okay, and always commended the quality of my work. I recall when I was Chamber on Ghana in 2003, about the way they were, determining, interest rates, the effects of which we are still seeing today. He got very interested and tried to host Ghana and I in a national TV debate. Of course, the 2 invitations, Ghana declined. So I did it alone. So he knew me very well. Surprising that he, of all people, and I don't want to go into details, would be the one to, want to criticize me. But why am I not surprised? Because he had done something similar before. When I was fighting Ejepa, he granted an interview to the Minister of Finance and sought to denigrate me even in that interview by saying that I was an employee of Keneforiata. When I drew his attention, he apologized. That no, he knew I was a founder of Data Bank. I said, then why do you present it as if I was an employee of Keneforiata? Again, when we were having a debate about, the referendum that had to be aborted, he again tried to criticize me. It's surprised that he, of all people, when I say he of all people, he will be surprised. He will know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by their, focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do. So, given my recent experience, I would say I'm not too surprised. My surprise would come from, or indeed came from the misrepresentation. You can criticize me. You can criticize my opinions, but don't tell lies. You understand?
He told lies in the presentation.
Don't say, for instance, that Togbe presented himself as coming from Ho to the Council of State and enjoyed transport allowances when you knew it's not true. You knew that by my character, I could never do something like that. I am a resident of Accra. I'm not one of those who pretend not to live in Accra and enjoy government hotel facilities when they are working or enjoy transportation allowances. I am not that type. He knows. So that part hurts me. And also the suggestion that I was most of the time absent from Council of State meetings.
You attended only 16% of the meetings.
Also hurt me because it's not true, and he knows that it's not true. So that level of dishonesty hurts me. That level of wickedness, that I took an exception to. You can criticize me, you can say you didn't see why I should return the money, but don't back your arguments with falsehood. That part I take a strong exception to. I know that our country, the truth is no more accepted by the people we are talking to. So with all the debates and all the confusion, sometimes I have to know what the truth is because of characters like this, who will sit as black and still say it's white. So whatever I do, I know people criticize. Even this donation I made today, people criticize. But if I want to worry about the criticisms, then I can't do anything. So I'll continue doing myself, say what I have to say, do what I have to do for the cause of the country's progress and development.
Togbe, finally, in that letter that you released, you stated that as a general principle, you actually abhor outrageous, payments, especially for persons who, out of their own volition, decide to serve their country. What do you make of calls for the scrapping of the Council of State?
Council of State is a nice proposition, okay? That has been messed up by the composition, you understand? And if it can be made to meet the expectations of the framers of our Constitution, it can be a good addition to, the various organs and institutions of states that are there to further the cause of our democracy and our development. Okay, but the composition of the council, the number of members that are appointed by the president, leaves a lot to be desired. You want a council that is strong, that is independent in thought and in action, and that can give right advice to those who need that advice, as opposed to merely endorsing what comes before them. So it's a great concept, it must be made to meet the expectations of the framers of law, of the Constitution, vis-a-vis again, further the cause of our democracy, further the cause of our development, within the context of the various principles on which our Constitution is built: fairness, equal access to opportunity, and etc. So basically, it's a good concept, but it needs to be handled properly.
This is Johnny Spine with me, Ernest Minu. We're taking a short break. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, in a 2021 report, the LGBTQ community says it is fully established in Ghana, with some pro-LGBTQ institutions already set up. Kofi Ejie of our research desk joins me in the studio with details of this report. Kofi, first of all, what are the names of these organizations and the centers mentioned in the report?
Right, so Ernest, this is the 2021, International Lesbian Gays Association, their report. And what they mean by their presence in Ghana is that they can count at least 3 centers or organizations that are in Ghana. So first one is the Center for Democratic Empowerment, and the second one is the OHF, initiative in Ghana, and then also we have the Solace initiative in Ghana. So that's the bold heading you have there. Welcome to our new members, and in Africa, they mentioned that they have additional, 13 members that are in Africa. They mentioned Ghana, and then these are the organizations that they mentioned.
So when you go onto the site, you're going to see this. Welcome to our new members. And Ghana is listed as one of the new members.
Absolutely. In the reports on page 22, you can see the welcome to our new members. And under Ghana, they write these organizations as how they are present in Ghana. And then, as I was saying, they said they are now present in additional 13 countries in Africa and globally around 129 countries. But as we've been talking about the rainbow color almost during the day, in the day, and then what does the 2020 report say? What we discussed was the 2021 report, but we gleaned this information from the 2020 report. And according to the 2020 report, it says that 28 member states, UN member states, recognize same-sex marriage, 28. And then, in 34 UN member states, they provide, protection for partnership for people who want to do same-sex marriage. And then in 28 states, we have joint adoption laws, while in 32 states allow for, same-sex marriage and second-parent adoption. So that's the picture that you have there in terms of recognition of the rainbow colors, as stated in the 2020 report.
But Kofi, I'm interested in knowing if there was anything about financing, because these organizations that you listed in the first slide, the 3 organizations, well, we know very close to nothing about them, but we've also heard about how much these bodies are funded. Was there anything about funding in this report?
On funding, they say that at the moment, in 2021, they were able to raise an amount of 24.4 million Ghana cedis. That's somewhere around 3.1 Swiss franc. That was the currency they quoted. And in terms of expenditure, it's around 17.5 million Ghana cedis. And so if you should do the math, it means they are trying to tell us that they made sort of like a profit in terms of financing.
And that is just specific to Ghana?
Not to Ghana, but globally.
Okay.
If you also look at the major sources of income in 2021, just like I was saying, the currency we see here is the Swiss franc, and then it says that they raised an amount of 775,000 from foundations. Probably the biggest amount was from governmental organizations. They raised an amount of almost 1.4 million Swiss franc from governmental organizations. And in terms of expenditure, we spoke about the 17.5 million Ghana cedis, which is somewhere around 2.2 Swiss franc. And the biggest component in terms of expenditure has to do with their programs and then activities across the globe. And so I want to show you this pictorial view, a global perspective of LGBTQI, presence across the globe. And you can see that they are scattered almost around, South and North America, and then almost everywhere in Europe. And if you should look at Africa, more or less like it is only present in the southern part of Africa. And if you should look at it in terms of the northern, western, and then eastern and central parts of Africa, it's as if there's nothing, happening in these areas that we are talking about. And so they also have this to say. This was in the 2020 report. It says that 69 UN member states still criminalize consensual same-sex marriage acts between adults. And this, they say, in 6 UN states, death penalty is a legally prescribed punishment. So we can mention countries like, in Nigeria, Mauritania, and then Yemen. In Nigeria, is present in 12 North African states.
And Saudi Arabia as well. Kofi, thank you very much for bringing us those details. Always grateful. To other stories now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has revealed that would ensure newborn babies are registered with Ghana cards. According to him, work has already commenced to make the new arrangement effective this year, with the Ghana Statistical Service providing the Ghana Health Service 13,000 tablets to support the project. Now, speaking at the launch of the No Guarantor Student Loan Scheme in Kumasi, he said no one can function without the Ghana card once the integration is done. Parliamentary has more.
In 2018, launched an agenda to build a database economy with digitalization as a major instrument for economic transformation. Dr. Baumia says work has already begun to integrate the driver's license, birth and death registry, Ghana Health Services, among others, into the Ghana card system. The idea, he says, is to propel Ghana's entry into the fourth industrial revolution.
One of the things that we are doing, which I'm very excited about, we are linking the births and deaths registry to the Ghana Health Service and to the National Identification Authority. We are about to finish that exercise. But later this year, because we want to make sure, as happens in all the advanced countries, that when you are born, that is when you get your Ghana card number, right from birth. From birth, you take that Ghana card number, go to senior high school, with basic school with it. It will track you all the way to university, right from birth. So we have linked the National Identification Authority with the Ghana Health Service and the Births and Deaths Registry. The Ghana Statistical Service has been so good in this particular project. They've provided the Ghana Health Service with 13,000 tablets. So those tablets are going to be used across all antenatal clinics in Ghana. So we will be tracking pregnant mothers right from pregnancy. We will know that this person, this is the mother, this is the Ghana card number.
According to Dr. Baumia, the integration will mean the Ghana card will officially become the basis of every economic activity in Ghana. But how soon will it become operational? Dr. Baumia explains.
This is what happens in advanced countries, so that your Ghana card number is going to be with you from birth until death. And that is how we build the anchor of a data. We are almost complete with this exercise, by the way, and I'm pushing them so that we start it this year. This is not some futuristic matter. We are almost there in terms of all the integration that we are doing. So the point is that the Ghana card, why we are very confident in saying when you use it, you can get your student loan and you don't need a guarantor, because we are building a whole ecosystem around the Ghana card. And there's
Now, multiple award-winning Ghanaian musician Dana Hamilton has released the latest song, and that is all coming up in Showbiz with Becky after this break.